Yeah, 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 yeah. Oh. Yeah, 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 yeah. Faith without works is dead. I don't wanna die so soon. I got moves to make instead. I ain't scared, I'm prepared. Big ideas inside my head. I'm gonna make them manifest. And I'm dressed for success. I left, right, order my steps. Network, I ain't gotta do it by myself. Who you know, show me who you know. Better let them know we bout to blow. It's time to go, go, go. Yeah, 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 yeah. Go to work, go to work, get to work, yeah. Go to work, yeah. Go to work, go to work, go to work, get to work, yeah. Go to work, yeah, 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 yeah. I ain't tryna trade my time, yeah. Simply wanna show you what I'm worth, yeah. Daily I'ma stay on my grind. Have a little faith and go to work. Yeah, 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 yeah. Go to work. Yeah, 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 yeah. I'm gonna grind like every day, 'cause I want everything. I can do anything. Check my resume. It's people against you. They see what you've been through. But look in the mirror, tap into your spirit. It's power within you. Like LinkedIn, I'm locked in, get the job done when I clock in. I weighed out my options, put the work in, that's action, no lacking, just stacking. Big dreams I'm attracting, no accidents, that's fate. Just go in and have a little faith. Faith without works is dead. I don't wanna die so soon. I got moves to make instead, I ain't scared, I'm prepared. Big ideas inside my head, I'm gonna make them manifest. And I'm dressed for success. I left, right, order my steps. Network, I ain't gotta do it by myself. Who you know, show me who you know. Better let them know we bout to blow. It's time to go, go, go. Go to work, get to work, yeah. Go to work, yeah. Go to work, go to work, get to work, yeah. Go to work, yeah, 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 yeah. I ain't tryna trade my time, yeah. Simply wanna show you what I'm worth, yeah. Daily I'ma stay on my grind, yeah. Have a little faith and go to work. Yeah, 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 yeah. Go to work. Yeah, 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 yeah. Okay, now go nuts, go nuts, go nuts, donuts, go nuts, donuts, 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 go nuts, donuts, 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 donuts.
Hey there, I'm Trevor Houston, the creator of the Who You Know Summit, and I'd like to welcome you to the Who You Know Job Networking Show.
On our program, we'd like to show you a job search like you've never seen.
Everything from getting noticed by employers, how to properly format your resume, and how to network effectively using LinkedIn to drive recruiters to your profile.
We even take suggestions from our amazing community.
So if you want to learn all things job search, go ahead and subscribe now.
Focus! It's all about the job search. So if you want to learn how to land that next success, you heard them. All you got to do is subscribe and ring that bell so you don't miss out on a thing. Welcome to the Who You Know Job Networking Show, where what you know is important, but
Who you know?
Who you know? Who you know can make all the difference in your business, relationships, your career, and definitely in your life. Guys, I'm super excited. This is another one of our Media Blitz episodes.
That's right.
We're taking over the news feeds. And you know what? We're doing something that's ain't never been done before, okay? I'm doing something today. I'm live on LinkedIn, right? And I'm live in LinkedIn audio room. Say what? Like at the same time?
Yeah. Yeah. Ain't never been done.
Ain't never been done. Listen, so we're trying to break LinkedIn, all right? We're live in 2 places at the same time. That's pretty cool. And we're going to test some things today. We're going to see how it works. So expect technical glitches. Let's give some shout outs real quick to our live audience.
Yeah.
Let's see who we got in the audio room. I see Timothy Mitchell. I see Shirley Lowe, Ryan Stewart. Guys, if you can give me a thumbs up if you hear my audio good. We got Hope Mengita in the house. We got Neil Anson, Chandra. So Neil just gave a thumbs up. Okay, they can hear me. John D, David Ball. That's what I'm talking about. Amanda Banks. That's what I'm talking about. I appreciate you guys being here.
Yeah,
You know
yeah. And in the video stream, we got Neil Anson as well. He's on both. We got John Ballard. Hey, John. Krista Kirshner. Great to see you as always. And Melody Drew.
Melody.
Welcome, Melody.
So here's what we're going to try to do today. We're trying to accomplish something pretty cool. Okay, so think about this. Like, for everybody in the audio audience, in LinkedIn Audio, we're going to attempt to bring you in to the stage if you want to ask a question at some point. And we're going to attempt to bring you up kind of like a live call into a radio show, right? So we're going to try that, see if it works, and,
Yeah.
I think it'd be pretty cool.
Try it out.
Yep. So another quick announcement that I want to get out of the way. I totally dropped the ball today. Well, I didn't really drop the ball. The summit, the Career Transition Summit, we had it scheduled for today. Everybody that was scheduled for that, I just want to extend my apologies and thank you for your patience. Webinar Jam is a tool that I use, and it totally crashed and burned today. And I was just like, oh my gosh, I got this big group waiting for me, and I was trying, and it just wasn't working, guys. So I did figure out the issue, and we are working through those technical difficulties as we speak, and I'm planning to have that summit scheduled for this Friday, this upcoming Friday at 3 p.m. So I will get the notifications out to everybody. But I just want to extend my dearest apologies because it weighs on me when I feel like I'm wasting people's time. You know what I mean? People are waiting for me and stuff like that, and that just bothers me so stinking much. So I want you guys all to know that, and I got something special planned for you on Friday for everybody that was there waiting for me.
Special.
I got something special. We always like to kick this thing off with a prayer for the audience. So if everybody can bow your heads with me, let's go to the Lord. Dear Lord, thank you so much for this day.
Yes.
And I'm going to ask you to do me a solid. Okay, Lord, I need you to restore my patience.
Yes.
Something that I struggle with is patience. Today, when I had that summit crash and burn, oh man, I was not patient. Lord, forgive me for the thoughts that were going through my head. I was very frustrated. And just help restore my patience and help to restore the job seekers and the people that are, going through these transitions. I know that they're going through that as well. They don't know what's in front of them. They don't know what to expect. But just have faith that you got it, that you're going to take care of it and restore our patience, Lord. In Jesus' name we ask.
In Jesus' name.
Amen.
Amen.
You bring up a good point, which is, we never want to disappoint people, right? But at the same time, this is a ministry for us, and we're trying to, channel God's work through us. And if we're not able to show up, then, we're not. It's not letting us down, right? Necessarily, it's letting Him down, right?
100%. I was on that thing, and I was just so frustrated. Oh my gosh, you don't even know. But luckily, I have changed. This show, just being here, has changed my energy and shifted into a more positive place because I was really like, today sucks. One of those days. But
I felt it when I came in and talked to you before we came down here.
Yeah.
I felt it. Totally different. Yeah, you're good now. So.
I'm good. I'm back.
Yeah. We're back.
So, and we got a lot to be grateful for, right? We got a lot of people who have landed. They're back to their cash flow. You know what I'm talking about? So, Mark, who do we have that has landed a career opportunity and is back to their cash flow? Who do we got?
Well, first and foremost, everybody get your money guns ready. Fan, if you want to get your money gun ready,
Let's
I
go.
got some announcements. We got Landis. We got Travis Weathersby.
Let's
Congratulations,
go.
Travis. Nathan Welsh. Michael Koshgarian,
All my money gone
Eric
already.
Kitten. Deborah
let's
Madaw.
go.
Hey, congratulations to
Yes.
all of you, and plenty more too in the comments or in the description. So, as always, make sure that you connect with these folks, find out how they got landed, what worked for them. That can also work for you. And also, importantly, find out they just got hired. The company is hiring. So find out if they have a position for you.
Absolutely, and make sure you pay it forward, right? We love that. So before we introduce our first guest today, I'm super excited. Well, I'd like to do this. I'm going to introduce her, and then what I think we talked about, right? We're going to do a little test. Is that okay with you?
Yes,
I want to
it's
see if
fine.
we can test it real quick to see if we can get somebody from the audience on LinkedIn Audio to come into the show. But I do want to introduce our first guest, Fanny Minute, who is a television producer, a speaker, an action coach. And she's actually one of our VIP sponsors of this event. So we just really appreciate you being here. Thank you
you.
so much.
Thanks
you,
for
Fanny.
having me.
Absolutely. And we're going to dive into your story here in just a moment. We're going to get into all the impact that you're making across the world. But I want to see if we can get a quick test from the audience. If there's anyone in the audience in the LinkedIn audio room that would like to, we're going to do a quick test. Okay, this is the first time ever been done. So I want you to raise your hand if you'd like to be part of the show right now. We're going to test something out. I got Philip Austin, I got David Ball, I got John, I got Jim Young. Just raise your hand if you want to come. Oh, Neil Anson, love it. So Neil Anson has raised his hand, and if I can get Ziggy to pull him up, there we go. Love that. And Neil, are you with us?
I am here. Good afternoon.
Oh, we did it.
Eureka!
We did it. Neil, what's up, my man?
Just, got my Topo Chico and just waiting for some mic drop moments.
Yes,
Oh, yeah.
let's go. Well, hey, this was a mic drop moment right here.
Yes,
Let's
it
go.
was.
Man, I'm going to throw one out for you, Neil. We appreciate you. Mic drop, mic drop. Hey, listen, we appreciate you. Thank you for being our guinea pig, right? We had to get it out of the way. We had to figure out, like, is this even going to work while we're doing, like, because this, shout out to Real News PR and our producer, Ziggy. Okay, so Ziggy, he's got like 4 cameras running. He's got mixers. He's got mics. He's got all this stuff going on. This crew over here is amazing. And then now I told him, I walked in today and I was like, hey, we're going to do LinkedIn audio at the same time. And he's like, what? I'm like, so let's just figure it out. So shout out to our producer because he figured it out. And Neil, thank you so much for being with us. We appreciate you. Okay, cool. So now we got that out of the way. Let's just dive in. Fanny, again, thank you so much for being here. I want to know, tell me your story, how you became a television superstar yourself. You're on the TV, okay, doing all this stuff, making big impact and really helping and serving people, right? You're not on there doing TikTok dances. You're up there making real impact. So I want to know, like, how did you get to where you're at now?
Okay. Well, I'm a veteran, and I was in education, a teacher. I taught business for 3 years, and then an administrator. And God said, move. Holy Spirit said, move. Fast forward that story, we moved to Dallas. My plans was to write a book on entrepreneurship because a lot of people, it's like, do you really want to be an entrepreneur?
Okay.
And so I was going to write that book because that was my background, business, and I was in business. And when I sit down to write that book, I heard, have faith. And it's like, have faith. Okay. Yeah, I have faith in being an entrepreneur and writing this book.
And that could be hard, too.
Yeah, it could be real hard. And after that, I went to sleep that night because I said, that wasn't my plan to write a book on faith. And so it was this entertainer that I've never said his name, and I never will, was in this big venue in my dream now.
Oh.
And so he turned around. I was with a friend, and I was talking about, I need music for this have faith, and I need this music. And he turned around and he said, just have faith. And so I said, just have faith. And so when I got back to the table, I said, just have faith. I said, Holy Spirit, if I write a book on faith, you have to help me because that's not the plan. I'm trying to write about business. And so, sure enough,
So you started writing.
and I started writing the book on Just Have Faith, and it took that message became my life from that point on.
Wow.
I went to Africa and spoke on
Oh.
faith and to some nations, and I've been speaking the message of faith ever since.
Wow. I love that. So originally you were like, I'm going to do this about business.
Oh yeah,
And you got that seed planted in you. Say, hey, hold on. Hold on now. Now, did you still incorporate some business into your?
I do.
You do.
I
okay.
do, because it all goes together. It's not disconnected.
Right.
It's all intertwined. Community, family,
Yeah.
relationships, all that is intertwined. If we disconnect, then we're not running business right. If we're disconnected, it's all together.
Absolutely. It has to be.
Now, did you run? Did you have a Jonah moment where you said, and you said, I'm writing about business. I'm supposed to be writing about business. But did you resist more than that?
Oh no, I didn't resist. I was
just
scared to.
followed-
I was afraid to
You just
resist.
followed his will.
I
Followed his will.
just did it, But it was therapy for me as well. I thought he wanted me to write it specifically for everybody else, but it was actually therapy for me as well.
So you got
My first book.
as much from it as your audience.
I really did.
Sometimes that's the way it is. You know what I mean? Like you are the in order to be a trailblazer, right, and blaze the trail for everyone else. You're almost the guinea pig. Like it's for you. Like you're doing it for you.
Yeah.
To see your own transformation, and then once you have a transformation, now you go and you teach other, and you say, hey, listen, this is what I've done, and this is the results that I've got. So a lot of times these things it starts for you first.
Yes.
Right?
Yes, especially if you transitioning from one thing to the next. Your military, your education, you're doing all these different things. You're watching mama die and Alzheimer's, dementia. All these things are going on, and you have a mass that you don't realize you have a mass on. And so that book opened, hey, look, you ain't as strong as you thought you were. Things ain't going like you really. And then I had a business, and I closed the business, and all these things was just all over the place, like a whirlwind, and so it opened that up. It opened up my mind to see what was really going on inside of me.
Isn't that funny how our experiences shape us, right? And also give us the resources and the expertise then to, if we are faithful, to be able to translate that then into valuable content for others, right? To be able to learn from that. I say this all the time: a fool learns from his own mistakes, right?
Right.
A wise
right.
man learns from others. So that's one of the things that I think is very important, is being able to relay. And actually, Trevor and I were talking about this, how sometimes I have difficulty being concise, right? And sometimes the message gets
Right.
lost in translation. But I think that, if you're able to take that, package it up, and share it in a book, a podcast, a show, man, the impact that you can make.
Yes, and here's the deal: if you don't identify what's going on inside of you, you're going to going from place to place, trying to get this job, that job, starting this business, that business, because you haven't really identified who you are. And that's my thing. What's happening inside of you?
Well, and I want to talk about that because a lot of people, right? We talked about the Great Resignation, right? A lot of people are trying to figure out who they are. They moved around, they pivoted, they changed careers, whether it was, their decision or the company's decision.
Right.
A lot of people got shifted, right? A lot of people got shifted in 2021. And people are trying to figure out who they are. What is the next journey? Who am I, right? I think that's like the universal question people are trying to figure out right now. Who am I? And the interesting part about it is, I love that question. Who am I?
Who am
Because, like in the Bible, it talks about, I am the I am, right? The Alpha and the Omega. Like, your identity is through me, right?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right,
I think, but as humans, we're always trying to figure out, who am I? What am I doing? Where,
Especially with work, when we're so
Yeah.
tied
Oh, yeah.
to who we are professionally.
People tie their identity in a job for sure. Right? Like the military. You were in the military, you
Yes,
said?
military.
Well, thank you for your service.
Thank you.
What branch?
Army.
Army.
The only branch.
All right, so hold on. I'm gonna get this wrong. Is it?
No.
Is the Army? Everybody online is gonna hate me for this because I don't know it. Is it hoorah or is it
Huh.
huh? Okay, see, hoorah's the military, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, or the
Well, people say it,
the
but
Marines.
Yeah, hoorah.
Yeah.
Huh.
There's some,
Huh.
there's
Okay,
some
so
folks.
huh. Well, I appreciate you and thank you for your service.
Thank you.
Huh.
Not huh.
No, I'm not doing it right.
Oh.
Okay. Wow. All right.
We'll leave that one alone.
Well, we'll switch gears here a little bit, okay? So you said that you wanted to talk to the audience today and wanted to share about not reinventing yourself, rather starting new patterns.
Yeah.
So can you tell me what that means?
It's not about reinventing yourself. It's all about starting new patterns, and that is a book that will be out this summer. And I know.
Oh, you got another book?
Yeah, this summer. This is the book.
This is the book.
It's not about I wrote the book on it because I can write the book on reinventing yourself.
That's right.
But it's not about reinventing yourself. It's all about starting new patterns. See, we have people that jump from job to job. I talk to people that have been on 10 jobs in 1 year. And then you have people that go from one business to the next business. Hey, I was there. I've been there. I was all over the place. But the thing is, you have to identify your patterns. What's your habits? How do you go by life? Do you start and stop things? Because a lot of people start and stop. They start the job, they don't like it, they don't like the boss, they go to another one, and they're running around for you know what they've been on 10 jobs. Well, that's not they thought it was the new job they needed, but in actuality, it's their pattern. It's a pattern that they have that causes the same thing to happen everywhere they go. It causes the same thing to happen on each job they go on. It causes the same thing to happen in a business.
You're absolutely right.
It causes the same thing. Relationships.
Yep.
And on relationships, we even need to start new patterns with the relationships. There are kingdom relationships and there are membership relationships.
Oh, hold on. We're going to get into something.
Yeah.
Hold on.
And so with the kingdom relationship, that's a spiritual thing, connecting with the Father, discerning of who you connect with.
Okay.
Membership connections is all this networking folks do.
Oh,
They
okay.
go in, they're networking, and then they hook up with somebody or they attend some church. They join the church because, there's some big folks in this church. They join the church, they come, they network with Trevor and Mark, they network with you all, but they never make a connection, a real connection.
Oh, like
and so,
deep.
yeah, and membership connections cut you off when the membership is over.
Oh.
Stop paying your
Your Netflix.
dues and that things like
Yeah,
that.
they get rid of
cut you off. Stop volunteering in the church and all those things, or you
Yeah.
leave the church.
Yeah.
Oh, we loved you while you were here, but hallelujah, you gone by.
Oh,
You know,
snap.
and so we gotta stop. We gotta pray for kingdom connections. Kingdom connections is I pray for y'all, whether y'all know I pray for you or not.
Ooh.
It doesn't matter. I'm gonna pray for you.
I like that because I wanna speak to that. There's a couple of people that I see online right now, and there's some kingdom relationship in this audience. I'm gonna tell you that right now.
yeah.
Jason Hopper, John Baller, Jim Young. I see you. There's Paul Haggerty. Well, you know what I'm saying? Like there is some kingdom. Like there's some folks here in our community. Strong relationship for real, and
Yeah.
I love that. I love that about it. You know.
Will they love you, or will you love them even if you off the air? You're no longer doing this.
Y'all, I quit today. I'm wrapping it up. I'm out. She said it. She wants to know, are you going to love me when I quit? When I hang up the Who You Know hat? Let me know in the chat. I just need to know.
Yeah. So the kingdom connections don't drop you. They don't delete you and unfriend you when you're no longer in the mix with them.
That makes
It's
sense.
kind of like you know who your real friends are when you need help, right?
Yeah,
When
yeah.
you need help.
Yeah, and a kingdom connection might be someone you're connected with, and you don't have lunch with them, you don't have tea with them, but they pray for you, and they support what you do. They let people know what you're doing.
So obviously we know, like the main reason of your why, right? That's a spiritual reason. But there is a difference, right? Your big why, as far as what you're talking about in your books, and then your selfish why. Can you tell us a little bit about the difference between your big why and your selfish why?
Of course, and you know, it's a lot of people don't even know that it's okay to have a selfish why. You know, so my big why is to.
I got one of those.
Yeah, they don't even know. They don't think it's so. They've been taught that it's selfish to have a selfish why. You know,
Right.
and so it's not. My big why is to teach and preach and teach people to excel in their faith, to develop great faith. I even have an online course that you go through 28 days, every day for 28 days, for 1 hour a day. I have an online course that teaches your faith, because if your faith level is not strong, then you're still going to flounder around like a bird and its wings been clipped.
Uh-oh.
Okay, and so that's that. But my selfish why is I want to be able to get up when I want to get up, do what I want to do. I want to be able to take my grandson to Kalahari whenever you want to go to Kalahari.
Freedom.
Oh, he likes
Freedom.
Kalahari?
Yeah,
Freedom.
I love Kalahari. I want to be able to get on the plane for the weekend and go to Paris if I want to go. I've been to Paris before. But if I want to go and travel to Paris for the weekend for a girlfriend's birthday,
You are
I want to be able to
speaking
do
my
that.
language.
That is-
So I'm gonna give you 1, 2, and 3 for
Yeah,
that. 'Cause no,
but that's
seriously,
my selfish why.
Yeah.
both of what you just said. So I literally this Monday, it's been a long time coming, but I finally recorded. Shout out to Ziggy again, our producer. I finally recorded a course, and so it's done. It's recorded. Now I got to chop it up and I got to do some stuff with it. But anyway, so I recorded the course, but it's about impact. I want to serve people. I want to be able to reach people on a massive level, right? And then there's the selfish, which is what you were talking about, which is freedom. I also want to be able to, travel and do all the things and not have to teach it in person all the time. Like I've been teaching this stuff in person for so long.
Yeah.
I'm like, shoot, I need automation. I need freedom.
You need multiplication
Yeah.
of you.
Well, that's why you do a book. You take what's in here, you put it on paper, right? And the printing press, right? And they get that thing out there. Right?
Yeah, right. And your book is like, I was taking a course, and James Malachek, I don't know if y'all ever heard of him. He was a secret millionaire. And he said, your book is like a business card. Mm-hmm. It's like a business card. And so when you write the book, you don't write the book just to sell a book.
You did
write
that
the
to
book
me.
to open doors.
It
It's
is-
yeah, right.
It did. You did that to me. You were here at our Backstage Pass event a couple months ago, and you were like, "Hey, here's my book." Da 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 da. And I'm like, heck yeah. Hold up. And I'm like, we need to get you on the show or something. You know what I'm saying? Ba ba ba, bing bing boom boom. Here you are.
Yeah,
That was a business card,
yeah.
and it was a dang good one too. So mic drop for that.
It's because people write books and they think, okay, I'm going to get rich with the book. And you could, you know,
Sure.
you can. But your book really is your open for speaking engagements and for
Yes.
big ticket items to sit here with you guys, right? Because
To make
had I
impact.
came to the event that you all had and I just said, hey, how you doing? I have a book. I wrote a book. It might not have had that effect that, hey, I have a book for you.
It
You know,
definitely opens doors for sure.
That was
Oh,
a
yeah.
reason why. I mean, I wanted to give you a gift. Of course, I wanted to give gifts. I don't think I gave you one. I have to get you one because you were talking.
Mark didn't get a book.
But y'all names are in my upcoming book, in my acknowledgments. Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
say what?
I'm gonna support you, so I'm gonna
Yeah.
buy a book.
Yeah,
I'm gonna buy
but
a
y'all
book.
name in my acknowledgments because
Don't use this money. It ain't gonna get you
Yeah,
nowhere.
yeah.
I
was gonna say,
don't
do-
want
do-
this money. I want the
take
real
100?
money.
You get no books with this money.
None of that. But yeah, even when you're job hunting, a lot of times people go job hunting because I did the same when I first started, and they go through the interview and they waiting for a call. But what creative things are you doing to get that person to remember who you are? Because they have hundreds of people coming through. They're dealing with so much. how do people say, well, how do you stand out? Well, you do something that made you stand out, right?
I love it.
You write the thank you card, or you write the letter, or you do those things when you job hunting.
I love it. So here's what we're going to do now. I want to go to the audience, and I want to see if anybody in the audience has a question for Fanny, or maybe something that you've learned here today. All you have to do is just simply raise your hand, and I'll have our producer pull you up on stage, and you can ask your question. While we are doing that, though, you also have your faith. You talked about your Faith Accelerator Masterclass. Mm-hmm. Can you tell me more about like what's in that? So Faith Accelerator, and like I'm thinking like, okay, what could be in this course? Can you tell us more about what's in that course?
Yes, it's 4 modules, and the first module is to rapid reboot your faith. Because people talk about faith, but what is it? And then everyday faith. Are you living every day by faith, even in the small things? Like, did I pray before I came here, believing that everything's going to be okay when I get here? Everyday faith. What are you doing with your everyday faith? And then I have discovered the faith in you. What is you truly believe? Not what I believe, what you believe, but what is it you truly believe about faith? In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. Do you really believe that? So in my course, you have that moment to really dig deep with yourself, within yourself, about your faith walk. Because we could talk faith all day, but it's like having a thought with no action. A thought with no actions is just a thought. And so faith, we could talk about it, but if we're not walking in it and we're not living it, you're just talking about faith.
Well, that's what I was going to ask you. So I have a question right here. So when it comes to goal setting, right, and we were just talking about faith, but what about goal setting? Tell us some ways that you're not just talk about it, right, but you walk about it, right? Right. You walk the walk and talk the talk. How do we do that?
Real simple. When you have a goal is just a goal if you don't have a strategic plan to implement that goal. And most people set goals, even especially end of the year, they set goals, but they don't have a plan to implement the goal. My plan, for instance, when I wrote this book, Reinvent Yourself and Start Something New, I actually went and got help to make sure that it wasn't marketed the way I marketed before. So I had a plan before I jumped in the course. My plan is to do it different than I've done it before. That's my plan. So why do I want to do it different? Because this didn't work, this worked, this didn't work, but this worked. So I want all these pieces to work. How do I get them to work? And sometimes you might need a person like me who's a coach, an action coach, to help you work that goal out. Because that goal, you need to have a strategic plan with the goal. Even when you're looking for a job, have a plan. Don't just go look for any kind of job. What's your plan? What is it you really want to do? Right?
And break it down into actionable items, right? Because that's the other thing.
And measurable items. Because if you can't measure what you're doing, you're just doing. Again, you're just floundering. Get sick and tired of floundering.
Well, what do you think about? Okay, so are you familiar with Grant Cardone?
No, I'm not.
Not familiar. Okay, so Grant Cardone talks about the 10x rule, and he talks about goals that are so audacious, so big, right? That you're shooting for the moon, or you're shooting for Mars, but you'll hit the moon, right? If it's so big. And then I've also heard other people talk about make it measurable, make your goals something that's attainable so that you get that win, right? And you feel that win and you can continue to have those wins. What are your thoughts on that? Because I've heard 2 different perspectives.
My thoughts on that is make it as big as you want it to be, big as you see it, and have a strategic plan to make it happen. Never minimize your what God puts in your mind. You don't minimize life. I'm so sick and tired of people minimizing life. When I say measurable, that means look and see where you're going with it. I start here, now are you moving? That's what I mean. Are you moving?
Progress checks.
For me to tell you, keep your goals simple, that's not even biblical. We serve a big God. We serve a mighty God, and I can't talk faith and then tell you minimize what you're doing.
That's so true.
Go for the highest you can go. Fly like an eagle.
10x, baby. Let's go.
10x.
Let's go. 10x.
But have a plan. See,
But have a plan, a strategic plan, so you can measure whether or not you're moving. Because
Yes.
you might be doing something and you're not moving, and so
right.
you need to know if you're moving.
So we got a question. I see Felipe. Felipe's in the house. If we can pull him up to the stage, Ziggy, that would be amazing. Felipe, thank you so much for joining our LinkedIn audio room here, and I hope you're enjoying the experience. We've got Fanny Minute in the house, and she's just been dropping all the mics. So do you have a specific question for Fanny or anything else we're talking about here today?
I do, and thanks, Trevor and Mark. I love this topic. And Fanny, I really enjoyed hearing, and actually I was watching you, and I had to switch over back to audio to talk to you all when you pulled me up, but I wanted to be able to see you speak. But, I love what you said about the goals specifically, and obviously making sure I always use the SMART goal practice that, Gallup practices it being specific, measurable, actionable, realistic, timely, all the things you all talked about.
Yes.
But what advice do you have for people to making sure that they get the right goals? Like, it's one thing that once you have a goal, how you're going to have that strategy, but what advice do you have for people to make sure that they pick the right goal that they're passionate about, that's purposeful and meaningful? Any advice on that?
Yes. First of all, you have to know what it is you passionate about. What are you passionate about? You can answer me. What are you passionate about? Philippe? You there?
Felipe?
Felipe? I'm asking. What are you passionate about?
So for me, I'm very passionate about helping people find jobs, recruiting, and really helping them find the right culture and the right company. I'm very passionate about that.
Okay, so you're very passionate about that. So your goal is to set a plan to get to those people that you are passionate about and do what it is you wanting to do with them. That's your goal, and you just do it. You set that goal. You already know what you want to do. You ask the question that you already have the answer to. You're passionate about helping people and reaching their goals. So now you map out a plan to be able to do that. See, sometimes we make that too complicated, but you already have the answer. Now what you do is sit down and strategize how you're going to help the people that you are passionate about. Have you sit down and implemented a plan yet?
For this, yes and no. So I have a plan for a strategy of how I'm going to help people through my coaching side business. But as far as a certain metrics of how many people and my strategy, I haven't built that fully out. And so I definitely need to roll that out. But I love how you simplified it because I think I was overthinking stuff. And I think that's really applicable to any other goal I set, is just asking my question is, what am I passionate about? What drives me to do this? And build off of that. So I love that.
And start this way. You're saying a lot of people start with one. Start with one. Make sure you get testimonies from that one after you help them, because you're going to help them. But start with one. Then two. You're very comfortable. You have your strategy mapped out. Then you go to the masses.
Boom. This is like a masterclass right up in here. Let's go.
Because if you start with too many people, then you might confuse yourself, or you can't handle them. And then that imposter syndrome will start telling you don't know what you're doing. So start small and then build up. And you'll build up in less than 6 months, actually, if you really have your plan mapped out.
That's great advice. And it helps, for someone who's slightly ADD from trying to do too many things, stay focused on one thing, do it well, and then once you master that, then go to the next thing.
Yeah, one step at a time. Master it one step at a time and don't overthink it.
Felipe,
Fanny, I really appreciate your advice.
Thank you so much for your question. We appreciate you being here. You're amazing. And this is awesome. This is like a little masterclass going on here. I think that's super cool. Guys, we got to go to a real quick commercial break, but don't go anywhere, because when we come back, we got more Fanny in the house. We'll be right back.
If anyone is out there and you're a realtor or you are looking to get your real estate license, it's a very low cost entry, $300 to take your real estate course online. Inexpensive compared to like a college. EXP is $150 to join and it's like $84 a month. So relatively speaking, these are very inexpensive costs. If you are interested in that and you want to work with me as a realtor, I'd love to have you join my team, and you want to hear about the model, then go to join10xempire.com, and I do this opportunity call every Tuesday. Would love to answer your questions and tell you more about what I'm doing. If anyone out there is interested in working with me.
You know you have something unique to offer your next employer, whether it's your experience or your work ethic or your passion or your personality. But how do you stand out from the crowd when you're stuck sending plain text emails that lack personality, lack humanity, and worst of all, look like every other email in the inbox? Job seekers just like you are discovering how easy it is to put their humanity back into their communication and back into their job search with BombBomb Video. Visit bombbomb.com to start a free trial today and rehumanize your job search.
Welcome back to the Who You Know Job Networking Show, where what you know is important, but
Who you know?
who you know?
Who you know?
Who you know can make all the difference in your business, your career, relationships, and life. Guys, I'm super excited. We're back with Fannie Minute in the house. She's been dropping all the mics, telling us like a masterclass. We just had Felipe come up, ask a question. This is cool. I really appreciate this. This is awesome. But I want to dive into talk to me about. Let's see. Here we go. What is so important? Why is it important to stand strong in your belief systems when seeking employment or going into business? So your belief systems, why is that so strong?
It's strong because you don't. It's going to come a time when you really need work. You really need to go to work and make some money. But do you go to work for a company that has no integrity, a company that's totally against your value system? Because if you do, you're going to be a miserable person. You're going to have money, but you're going to be so miserable.
Anybody in the audience ever worked for somebody or worked for a company that just didn't align? If that is you, just give a thumbs up. If that is you in the audio room or online in the chat, just put "that's me." I have.
I know plenty of people that have taken jobs for the paycheck, right? The paycheck was nice, but like you said, they're absolutely miserable and it's not sustainable, and they're going to be back on the street in a search, in just a matter of time, usually short time.
Right.
Short amount of time.
But if you're strong in your belief system, you'll come up with a way to make it and not just do anything and everything. I won't even go on the show if they tell me, or if they say, you can't mention Jesus, you can't mention your beliefs. I don't go because it's not, it's what's the point?
I've almost had to do the opposite of what you just said. There are certain people where I will pretty much let anybody on to the stage, right? If they have something to give, I think it's important, no matter what their belief system is. I will, the table's open. But there's certain people where I've had to tell them, like, hey, listen, this is a faith-based show, so, kind of watch what you say, because some people got loose mouth.
Yeah, right.
You know what I'm talking about? So,
yeah, I know.
But I appreciate that. That's integrity.
But if you stand on what you believe, let's go back to 2020. I didn't cry one time in 2020. I didn't roll up in a fetal position. It was not. I was out. I said, what's the essential businesses that's open so I could get out this house and go roll around for a minute? because
Home Depot.
yeah, that's where I was in now. And so I was in the essential business. Not because, okay, I neglected the fact that there's a virus out there, but I strongly believe that my father was going to take care of me. But I'm using sense.
Sure.
But I believed in the Father to the point where I'm not sitting in no house letting the world scare me to death. I'm not going to do that. But when you have a strong belief system, you don't let people choose and pick what you do. You choose and pick what you do.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I like that. I mean, because I was with you. I was in the Home Depot with you. You know what I'm saying? I
was everywhere they had.
Yeah.
Well, I think that there's a lot of people that fall into that category of what you're talking about, me included, right? Where we let other people's opinions dictate what we do, how we act, who we are to a certain extent. And that's not true to yourself. It's not true to your beliefs.
No.
And, you know, it's a pitfall for me because I'm a people pleaser. You know, I that's what my focus is a lot of times. And, you know, it can be detrimental in your job search, in your relationships. I mean, everything that we're talking about, in your belief system.
Yeah. And I respect people. I respect what they believe. If they don't believe what I believe, I respect people. But you're not going to make me compromise on what I believe. You have to be strong enough in your belief system that other people can't switch your mind, have you going, doing the snake with your belief system. You believe it? Okay, I believe this. We're going to respect each other. But
that's the problem with our society, though, is there's not a whole lot of respect, and there's not, we're not able to have a debate or a conversation anymore. It's like cancel, right? Like you don't believe the way, you don't believe the way I believe. You're dead to me. Like you know what I mean? That's the way the world is, and it's so messed up because it's like, wait a minute, hold on, like whatever happened to just being able to have a conversation? And like, so I have a buddy of mine. I've known him forever, and he's like a brother to me. And he's Jehovah's Witness, right? And we have conversations all the time, and I love it. I love some of the deepest conversations that I have. I have with my brother, who's Jehovah's Witness, and the beliefs are a little bit different. There's some differences, right? But then again, I get to have these conversations with him, and I say, you know what, brother? Like, 95% of the book we're reading is the same. There's like a 5% difference.
Right.
95% of it's the same. We're reading the same scriptures. We're reciting the same scriptures. I'm like, so anyway, so we're able to have this dialect and able to have these healthy conversations.
And that's so missing now. People are not able to talk to each other. How do you learn when you can't talk to each other?
Right.
And how can I embrace you if you can't embrace me? And you want me to be politically correct, but my belief system say if I'm politically correct, I'm going to politically correct myself to hell. And so I can't do that.
What did you just say? I'm going to politically correct myself right to hell.
Right to hell because
I'm going to be throwing rocks. I'm going to be throwing rocks at everybody. Right?
Yeah.
And just like the Pharisees, they thought they were better than everybody because they were,
You
that's
both,
what it is. It's like a Pharisees complex.
Well, you both said something in different ways, the same thing in different ways, but it's very important. And I want to point that out because, we need to stand firm in our convictions and our beliefs, but we can't let that impact how we treat others.
Right.
In essence, is what you said. And if we're going to disagree, you can disagree lovingly out of love, right, versus hate. And that's what I think is part of the problem in our culture and society today is, like you had said, if we don't agree, then we're on opposite sides, complete left and right, or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah. And you're my enemy.
There's animosity,
enemy.
there's
That's
hatred.
the thing. Now you're my enemy because you don't
Correct.
agree.
Right.
And we shouldn't be enemies because we disagree.
Right.
We shouldn't be enemies. I mean, I'm not going to drink coffee with you and argue with you all day, so it wouldn't make sense for me to invite you over if I know we're going to be all at the same time. I can't call myself a follower of Christ and I want to beat you up because you, or curse you out or do something
dismiss somebody
because you don't believe what I believe.
You know what I think a big part of this is this right here. You know, it's social media. It's everybody. It's people like me. Shoot, I'll throw myself in this hat, right? People like me who have a voice. Like everybody has a voice now. Literally, everyone, right, has a voice now. And so it's almost like this entitlement to that voice where, like, no, you're going to hear me. You're going to hear what I got to say.
And
I got opinions.
And don't research.
Yo, don't research. Right.
Just have a voice.
Yeah, just
and influencing people. No research. Don't have a clue what they're talking about.
It's like, you know, exactly. And it's like, who are you? Like, who do you think you are? That you know, even myself, I'm like, who the heck am I up here talking to people? Shoot, man, I'm nobody. I'm just Trevor Houston. You know what I'm saying? You know,
but you can't say you're nobody. We got to stop saying we're nobody, because if we say, and this is a faith-based show, so I can say this, if we say we are created by the Most High God and turn around and say we're nobody, that's conflicting with your belief system.
That's true.
Right?
Amen. I appreciate you saying that. And, you know, but it just, I think that you see people, right? You see people online, right? And they get, you know what I'm talking about. And it's like, who gave that person a microphone or a camera or whatever?
Well, it's
you see a lot of it on TikTok. But that stuff is what triggers everybody, gets everybody all triggered and crazy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, that brings up the another question that we had, which is baggage, right? People carrying around their baggage. And you had said something or alluded to emptying your carry-on bags so you're clear before your next big move.
Before your next big move. And that's in my book that's coming up, and I actually coach on that as well. But empty your carry-on bags before you make a move. And what that means is all these, earlier I mentioned about starting and stopping. You got to identify why you start things and then stop. Some people can't even finish their garage, cleaning the garage, because they start and they just stop. You know, they started and stopping. The other thing is, do you have an imposter syndrome? Is when you get ready to do something new, do you allow yourself to be talked out of it? I'm not good enough. I'm not old enough. I'm not young enough. Oh, I can't do this because I've reached this age. I'm just supposed to be babysitting. If I don't babysit the babies, then, the children going to get mad. And so now you done talk yourself out of that gift that God has given you. You done talk yourself imposter syndrome. So that's things that we carry on. And then a lot of people don't put on their oxygen mask first. They're trying to take care of this person and that person, and they haven't taken care of themselves.
I'm going to give you one for that.
And you got to
totally.
take care of you before you can start taking care of all these other people, but you don't. They don't. And so we have all these things in our carry. You all have been on a trip before, and you bring your bag back, and you haven't emptied the bag. You don't empty the bag until it's time to go on another trip, or you're looking for something, and it's in the bag. And so we have to empty that carry-on bag. If we don't, we'll go from one job to the next with carrying that same thing you used to be. You ever had anybody knew you from way back when you were doing something you ain't had the business doing, and here you done transition. You have surrendered. You are no longer cursing like a whatever. You're no longer promiscuous. You're no longer, but you have that person. You meet them, and here you trying to praise the Lord with them, or you trying to talk to them about getting a job, and they say, you used to. Empty that out of your carry-on bag. When they say empty it out your carry-on bag. And when they say you used to, say, yeah, I sure did. And keep it moving.
But that ain't me no more.
Because it's your used to. And so you have to empty those things out of your carry-on bag, because you might be trying to look for a job, or you might be trying to start a company, and someone come along and say, oh, who do you think you are? You used to.
Yeah, I used to.
And then now... Okay, I see that face. Don't go way back there now.
I listen.
He started having some memories or something. But
no. But you know what? all of that used to, think about Moses. Moses was a murderer, right?
Yeah.
Used to, till God chose him, picked him up and said, let's go, right?
Yeah, right.
I mean, and I think that God does that with a lot of folks,
He do.
Yeah.
But you'd be surprised at the people that don't move forward because they still have that in their carry-on bag.
Right.
They still hear Johnny Joe saying, well, you used to, I don't know who you think you are, you used to. Sally's still hearing Alice saying, well, girl, we used to, you used to. And now she doesn't move forward, or he doesn't move forward because you keep hearing that. Let it go. Empty it out that carry-on bag. It's too much we carry on. And we'll never reach the potential that God has for us if we don't dump those things out of the carry-on bag.
White as snow. What are the lyrics? How does it go? Gosh, what's the song? It's wash you white as snow.
Yeah, oh yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
I know I can't think of the name of it. I know which one
you
you're
know what I'm talking about. White as snow.
Yeah.
It's talking about Jesus' forgiveness in the song.
He forgive us. We don't
right?
forgive us.
White as snow.
And that's the other thing. We have to learn to forgive. Because unforgiveness causes illnesses in the body. It really does, and people don't realize it. When you're not forgiving, if you're not a forgiving person or you don't forgive someone for what they've done, most people that's running around and they're a little sick or they have some issues going on, if they check in their carry-on bag, they'll find that unforgiveness is still in there.
And not only for others, but for themselves.
It's
a lot
for
of people
yourself.
deal
Unforgiveness is
with not being able to forgive yourself.
Yeah, you
right?
gotta forgive, and then trauma. Most people think about trauma. That's another thing that's people carry on their carry-on bag. Most people think of trauma as, okay, I broke my leg or I had a car wreck, but trauma can be losing a job.
Oh, yeah.
You can lose a job, and people don't identify it as trauma, so people don't treat you like you're going through trauma because you just lost a job. Go get another one.
Right. Like, why do we try to, minimize the whole job loss thing?
It's not minimized because it's trauma to some people. It's trauma because they've lost something. And with that losing a job, some people is experiencing rejection. That's rejection and failure and all this stuff. Identity, value.
Purpose.
And we treat that so simple. So you all out there, if someone lost a job, help them find a job, but don't treat it like it's no big deal. Oh, you'll find another one. They're not finding another one, or they wouldn't be looking.
Yeah.
Right?
Right, yeah, they're still struggling, yeah.
They're still struggling.
And at least empathize. Like, that's the thing that bothers me the most, especially with a lot of recruiters. I'm just going to throw that out there. A lot of recruiters have, zero empathy, and maybe it's because they have so many job seekers they're dealing with or whatever, so they don't empathize. But it's like, come on, show some empathy, because they go through a struggle. They go through hard times. I got some people in my audience right now. Shout out John Baller. We got Con Stutter. We got William McLaughlin. Jason Hopper's in the house. But there's a bunch of folks that I'm going to tell you that, it's been a year and a half, 2 years. We had a guy that was 28 months in the job search. What do you think 28 months of rejection will do to you?
That's trauma.
That's trauma.
And most people don't even after they get a job, they don't deal with that.
They just
They
down
just
inside.
keep going, but they don't go back and deal with the trauma, the experience they had in losing that job. And so now they got more baggage in their carry-on. They got more stuff in their carry-on bag that they need to pull out of there before they move, before they keep moving. But people, I got a job now. But they don't deal with the emotions that crippled them when they lost that job before they went into a new job.
Wow.
And so it's important that we pull those things out.
You got to pull out the weeds.
We're going through that right now at home with my boys. Over the last year, it's been a theme because I've got an 8-year-old, 3-year-old, and they're all three of them are learning the golden rule, right? And so with the empathy side of the conversation, right, and with recruiters, your example there, a lot of times we don't treat people how we want to be treated, and that's a perfect case in point with recruiters who aren't empathetic towards people's trials and tribulations that they're going through, because everybody has their own, right? And it isn't personal. The recruiter or somebody in that capacity is not being personal, but to the individual, it is personal because they're the only ones walking that
Because
path.
they're hurting.
Right.
They're hurting. Some people have lost jobs. They can't feed their children. They can't. They're looking at people bring their grandchildren to all these fabulous places and their children to all, and they can't barely feed their child.
But I find it interesting that those same people, as soon as they need help, and we know recruiters, what industry has a high turnover rate?
Recruiting.
Recruiting.
Uh-huh.
We know that those people may be in a job search, and then we always see this. We always see a lot of people that are they're there, they're engaged, they're participating, they're paying it forward when they need help.
Right.
But that's kingdom business. If you're a recruiter and you operate from a kingdom mindset, you will always be mindful of people.
Let's go.
Yeah, give me a mic.
I love this.
Kingdom.
All right, so we've got to got to go to the audience real quick, and we've got a giveaway that you want to give away a 30-minute coaching session, right?
30 minutes.
I love it because I tell you right now, some of these people can use it. That's all I'm saying. I love y'all, but y'all could use some of this. Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. How we got the audio room now. Do you want to?
That's right.
I don't know. How do you want to do the giveaway this time? This is different. What do you think, Mark? Let's ask a question and see if we could get somebody in the audio room to raise their hand and come up. Okay, so if you're watching and you're in the live stream right now, right, and you're actually watching us, you have an opportunity, right? If you want to answer the question, come to the audio room. All right, I want you to come to the audio room. Come over here. So what's a question we can ask the audience, and we'll give this thing away. Mark, what do you think?
Let's see. Let's talk about. Let's talk about her military time in the military.
Oh yeah. Okay, I like that. So, what branch of the military? Let's see. So we always like to quiz them, see if they're paying attention,
they're paying
right?
attention.
So we've got Jim Young is raising his hand. If we could pull Jim Young up to the stage, what branch of the military did Fanny serve? Jim Young, over to you. Jim, are you with us? Oh,
Jim, you're in the room.
Jim, you're in the room. Oh no.
Yeah, he's gone. He gone. Hope
he gone.
Hope is in the room. She's got her hand raised. Hope's been paying attention.
All right, Hope, whenever you're ready. Oh no, Hope's back too.
Oh no, what's up? What's going on?
Something happening.
I've got people in
the
live
video
stream.
feed. Yep.
So okay. Jim is raising his hand again. Jim, if you'll come on up. Jim, how are you? And what branch of the military did Fanny serve? Oh no, it's not working.
It's not working.
Well, why don't we
can try Philip? Philip's raising his
Okay,
hand.
Philip, we're gonna
Philip,
do
okay.
one more. We're gonna do Philip, and then we'll try David Ball. Philip, oh, by the way, you have to give your computer or your device permission. It will ask you. It should be some kind of prompt, a permission to allow your microphone to work.
It sure does.
Philip,
hear
you're
me?
on the air. Yes, we can hear you, Philip.
All right, she's in the Army.
Yeah,
That's right.
There we go. Philip in the house. Philip Austin, man, how are you doing, my friend? I just gotta know, how are you?
We are hanging in there, partner. We're doing all right.
Good.
I like to hear that. I'm looking at your profile right now. Business owner at Cornerstone Aviation Solutions LLC. Got your plane flying high. I love that. If everybody can do me a big favor, we're gonna do something called reverse follow. Okay, reverse follow. So I want everybody in the audience, everybody tuning in. I want you to actually go follow Philip Austin. Okay, Philip Austin. Go connect with him. Go follow him. Go blow him up because we love you.
Blow
Man.
him
We
up.
appreciate you.
Philip Austin.
All right. So, Philip, you also, congratulations. Let's give you a round of applause. You have won yourself a 30-minute coaching session with the one, the only Fanny Minute.
Fantastic.
Congratulations.
Looking forward to it.
I'll make sure to get you two connected, and I really appreciate you coming up here and figuring out that microphone. Guys, we got to go to a real quick commercial break. Actually, hold on. Wait, hold on.
Yeah, we gotta. Boost
Before
Fanny.
we go to a commercial break, before we do all of that, I got 2 questions. Number 1 is, what's the best way for the audience to connect with you?
A minute just have faith at gmail.com or info at thefannyminuteshow.tv.
All right. So that was minutejusthavefaith.com.
Minute just have faith at gmail.com.
At gmail.com. Okay.
Or info at thefannyminuteshow.tv.
.tv. Love that. Okay. And if I can get everybody online, do me a big favor. If you're watching, take a screenshot, right? Even if you're in the audio room, take a screenshot. And I want you to post this thing all over social media. And I want you to tag
her.
Fanny and tell her what was one of the most insightful mic drop moments that you got to learn here today. And let her know how the Who You Know show community rolls. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Can't wait to see.
Yes. All right, now we got to go to a quick commercial break. Don't go anywhere, because when we come back, we've got Erik Simins in the house. We'll be right back.
Hey guys, come work for the most innovative company in the world, 10X Incubator. We're launching 10,000, listen to me, 10,000 tech companies in 10 years. If you're a coder, what?
We got
programmer,
coders, we got graphic designers, we got copywriters, digital marketers, biz dev.
you name it.
You
If
got
you
skill.
like tech, love tech,
hungry.
want to be in tech, okay? We don't actually require that you get the jab here either. Just so you know, if you want it, good. If you don't want it, no problem. We are hiring. We want you. If you're good at your job, if you're disciplined, if you want to be paid well, if you want to be taken care of, if you want to be in a 10X environment, click the link below. Give us your resume and a short video. 30-second video. Just tell us who you are. Tell us what you do. We want you. We want you.
Let's go.
We want you.
The best careers are those that seem like they were made for you. But how do you know which path to choose? People spend decades trudging from job to job, unhappy and wondering if they'll ever find that perfect fit. Workwolf leverages big data and data science, creating a powerful new tool that can accurately predict your success in any job, or can validate if you're on the right path. Welcome to Workwolf's Packfinder. More than 30 million professionals have taken the Packfinder, and companies spend millions of dollars a year using it to assess and select their top candidates. But now, we're able to provide it to all Workwolf users for free. Your results will accurately predict what job is best for you on a scale from 1 to 5 in over 60 different positions. It's time for you to enjoy a career that's custom made for you, so you never have to work another day in your life. Take your Packfinder for free today. Workwolf, unleash the power of truth.
Welcome back to the Who You Know Job Networking Show, where what you know is important, but
What?
Who you know? Who you know can make all the difference in your business, career, relationships, and life. Guys, what an amazing episode we just had with Fanny. That was phenomenal. And I want to give some quick shout outs to our online audience. I see Philip Austin, Shirley Lowe in the house, Lori Oken, good to see you.
Hey,
we got
Lori.
William McLaughlin, Coy Sutter. We got Krista Kirshner. Just love this stuff, guys. So appreciative of you being here. And now what I would like to do is introduce you to our next amazing guest star today. We've got Erik Simins, and he's the CEO of Workwolf and a VIP sponsor of today's event. So if everybody can give a warm Who You Know welcome for Erik. Let's go.
Welcome, Erik.
Hey, guys.
Erik, we are so appreciative of you being here, man. And through the whole coordination with your team and all of that. I learned yesterday that you've been a little bit under the weather. So first question I have for you, are you feeling okay today, or how are you feeling?
Thanks for asking, man. I'm making it. It's a little bit hot. I'm in my new office that's not quite built yet, so there's no AC or HVAC. It's toasty and I'm not feeling the best, but I didn't want to miss the opportunity to meet with you. It's been a long time coming, man. So thanks for having me on the show.
Yeah. Where are you joining us from, Erik?
We're in Toronto, and it's not as hot as you guys, but it's a scorcher here this week. It was up to like 38 degrees yesterday, so it's hot.
Yeah. Yeah, well, thanks for joining us. Yeah, I see you got that scaffolding back there.
Yeah, we appreciate you. And the first thing I would like to ask you is tell us about Workwolf. I see you got the T-shirt there. Tell us about the company and the mission for the company. What are you guys doing out there?
Okay, so our tagline is Unleash the Power of Truth. And kind of came across this concept back in 2017 because I also own a staffing business. And recognized that the data that my recruiters and my clients were using wasn't very accurate, and it was the resume, right? So the resume is not the best data source to make good decisions. Sometimes they're inaccurate, sometimes there's misrepresentation on them. So I sought out how to actually fix the data problem and just make it more validated information, more accessible to both the applicants or job seekers and the employers. And so that's what we've been working on for the last 4 years.
So you're saying, hold up, if I'm getting this straight, you're saying the resume is a broken system? Is that what I'm hearing here?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna give you a mic drop for that.
Well, and I also heard, so like you can get to a point where your resume is almost like your transcript, right? Like, because you can get your transcript from your college, or if you've got a degree or whatever, but fact checking your resume like that, is that what you're talking about?
Yeah. So what the technology does and what we've created over the last 4 years is these sources of truth, which are the validators on the network. So we've got something like over 6,000 universities as part of it, because academics is something that employers like to search for. And I don't know if any of the audience members have actually tried to go and get your transcript after the fact. Sometimes it can take a month to get that, right? So what our tech does is it's the first commercial application of blockchain in HR. So it's it's a commercially viable product. And what it does is it kind of democratizes or decentralizes these sources of truth or these data records from all of these siloed repositories like schools, government, Equifax, TransUnion, and then it holds it in this tamper-proof, we call it kind of a credential vault, but it's actually called the Digital Work Passport. And that the candidate owns or the job seeker owns. And the job seeker can then peer-to-peer share this with whomever they want. They can share self-proclaimed information. They can share validated information from the sources of truth in the network. And what happens is we start to kind of pull out those friction points of validation and just make the process easier.
Yeah, that's like, it sounds like to me kind of like a Carfax, right? Like you're pulling the Carfax on this person, right? But you know what I'm saying? And like if I'm selling the car, like I want to have the Carfax and be like, yep, this is a clean car right here. Check it out, right? So it goes both ways. So it's kind of like you get the whole. So okay, let me ask you this: what other data points are pulled on this thing? You get what, background check? You said academics. What else?
So it could be licenses, references that are automated. So it would go out to the referee, which would be, let's say, a previous employer. I guess the part of the technology that's really interesting is that I liken it to a safety deposit box where only the actual issuer or the referee has the ability to put the data record inside the deposit box. But then the data owner or the job applicant or the professional, they have a window, which is the ledger of the blockchain. And that can allow them to control who sees, whether they want to grant access, deny access, or revoke access to this information.
Dang.
So it sounds really complex, but it has been a complex process of R&D to get through this thing to where it is today and actually in the market. But if I had to boil it down to kind of one very simple explanation, is that it's a resume that's verifiable in real time.
Man, hold on. I got to give you one for that. Because, like, think about it. So, like, listen, I'm just going to be real with my audience right now. I've said it a few times, but I got a background from when I was like a juvenile, right? I got some background. So, no, for real. But like, I never know who can see what can be seen, you know, what employers, da-da-da-da-da. Like, seriously, it's one of those things. And I know, like, when people are applying for jobs, they always kind of want to know what's the employer seeing on the other side. So this almost gives them that window, like you were talking about, to know what they actually look like. What is that Carfax for? You know what I mean? What does it look like? I got some damage, or have I been wrecked, or what's going on?
Yeah, they can see it. Both sides can see it. So and I think one of the values is that either the applicant or job seeker can, I guess, assist themselves if they're having some challenges in terms of getting seen by an employer. They can kind of validate these things ahead of time and then grant access. Or the employer can issue credits to the job applicant. Maybe when they move along in the process and they're very interested in the applicant, they can just kind of expedite the process. Because right now what happens is the background checking industry doesn't actually get contacted until a job offer.
Until the end.
And
it's
the end.
It's so backwards.
It is.
Yeah.
So it's a very disruptive technology. It's a change of process, and those are some of the most challenging ones because we're going into a change adverse market, which is HR, right? They're pretty change adverse.
Right.
So we've had to provide value to all actors in the ecosystem, and that was really difficult too. So in doing that, the beginning intro was about the Pack Finder. So the Pack Finder is a psychometric predictor of performance. And that's something that actually every candidate who applies for a job for an employer who's part of the Workwolf ecosystem, they get that as part of the application process. And it's an 8-page report. It tells them where their strengths are, how they can channel those strengths in terms of finding the optimal job for best performance and best job satisfaction. And it hits 60 different job functions. And it will rank the candidate in terms of what they really should be pursuing. So if there's ever any doubts, this is really good for people who are just entering the workforce, because sometimes people can spend, I didn't really land on my career in recruitment until I was 30, right? So I spent a lot of time doing a bunch of different things until I realized really what I was meant to do. And I think it can really save people a lot of time if they just go and they take it. It doesn't cost anything, and it just adds, it's actually the first credential within their digital wallet or the digital work passport, and it's free. We don't charge anything to consumers or job seekers. We want to assist them in terms of getting out there and differentiating themselves and
I think
just making it easier for them to get jobs.
I think it's really important because, if you think about what happened, again, we talked about the Great Resignation. Yeah, 2021, 47.4 million people left their job. So they're trying to find something that fulfills them, something that makes them happy, right? So they are, like you were talking about in your 30s or in your before your 30s, you were testing the water, seeing a bunch of stuff and doing a bunch of different things. Well, this tool sounds like could help, kind of like shine some light on some areas that maybe, hey, you haven't even thought about this. This is an area you haven't even really explored or looked at, but this actually over here aligns more with what you say in your assessment, right?
Yeah, well, what you're made of. So this is based on literally hundreds of millions of data points and 30 million profiles that have been completed over the last 20 years, right? So it's probably one of the most unique data sets that's proprietary that we utilize to be able to accurately predict somebody's performance based on how they answer these questions. We're not the first and we won't be the last algorithm for predicting performance or psychometric assessments. But this has been done in 40 different countries over the last 25, 30 years. And it works. So, I guess the best stress test is for someone to take it and then you guys take it, exchange it, and then say, hey, is this me, right? And since I've been saying that over the last 12 months or so, I've never had somebody come back and say anything but, holy crap, this thing's really accurate.
Is this something that will replace, can replace, or supplement KPIs?
So key performance metrics or indices, I think that this will just really give the individual who takes the assessment or the employer who evaluates the assessment a good indication of where somebody is going to be really good within the organization and where they're going to excel and be happiest. But KPIs in terms of measuring performance, this doesn't do that.
Okay.
So, so how does WorkWolf differentiate a candidate from other applicants? How would it help them to stand out against other people who maybe aren't using this tool?
Sure. I think probably I can give you a couple examples here. And I mentioned earlier that it provides value to all actors in the ecosystem of recruitment, which is the employer, the recruiter, or the HR professional, and the candidate. So and I'm sure the US is very similar to Canada, but in Canada, COVID really kind of shone a light in the cracks in our healthcare system. So we've got, we had a crisis, we had really poorly laid infrastructure, and not enough supply in terms of the practitioners available for work. And a lot of that had to do with the inefficiencies of how to actually deploy these people and incentivize these healthcare practitioners. So how WorkWolf works within the healthcare environment is one of my businesses, Magnus, deploys healthcare practitioners, mostly nurses, all over the country. And one of the issues here with that is that there are strict requirements in terms of these nurses having documentation to designate that they're licensed, that they've done their criminal background check or vulnerable sector check, which is a whole other level. And a lot of the times I've seen with competing agencies is that that don't have the WorkWolf product, is that because there's such a rush and such a demand and such a backlog to get the talent in, things are overlooked, or they say, okay, like, don't worry about it. Like we need 4 people on our critical care unit, like tomorrow. So we'll worry about that later. And it kind of gets brushed aside. So the due diligence that's normal practice or should be normal practice because of the urgency of all this gets dismissed. So with the digital work passport, it's already there, right? So and nurse contractors will stay in contracts anywhere from, let's say, two weeks to 6 months. So it's not like your typical 2-year time frame in a normal job, or a 14-month now time frame. So they can carry this digital work passport with them, and as they move from position to position, they have their verification on person and can share access in real time. And so that's really where the value is to the nurse and to the employer as well, so that there's no liability associated with it, and everyone's above board and everyone's done their due diligence that takes literally a few seconds versus a few weeks.
How often do you think people, and maybe intentional or unintentional, have inaccuracies in their resumes that this is going to prevent?
Very often. So probably, I remember I was raising capital for WorkWolf back in 2019, and I asked how many of the audience thinks that, or what % do you think of resumes have inaccurate data or misleading or misrepresentation? And, some people said, half or 20%, some said 80%. And I'm going to ask, throw it back to you guys. What do you think? Or even throw it out to the audience if you could do a poll. Like,
yeah, let's do a poll.
Let's do that.
Okay, I like that. I like fun stuff. So, okay, let's go to the audience. The question is, how many of you stinking job seekers are out there fudging up your resume? No, I'm just kidding. We love the job seekers.
I'm gonna have to take underwater basket weaving off of my resume, I guess.
Yeah, how many of y'all are fudging your resume? What percentage do you think job seekers are out there just, messing it up or lying, straight up lying on their resume, stuff like that? How much? Tell us in the chat, and while we wait for that, that's a really good question. I would say, what do you think, Mark?
I would say 65%.
You think 65? That's pretty high.
Yeah.
That's a lot of liars.
Well, like I said, intentional or unintentional, it could just be that they just don't have or remember certain aspects, and so they're just...
I think you know what you did. I don't know, man. I think if you're fudging it, you're fudging it. I don't know.
Well, for example, if I'm putting as far back as maybe the military, but even after the military, I'm thinking about some of the jobs that I had, and I don't remember when I started or when I quit and things like that.
Yeah, that okay. I get you. So you're like, Well, I don't really know the answer, so I think it was 92. 92. 92.
Right,
That sounds good, right?
Yeah.
You don't really verify it. Okay,
Yeah,
so.
I mean, not so much like, oh yeah, I think I have a PhD. I don't know if not like that, but
Well, I would say I'm gonna go with 40%. I'm gonna go with 40%. I'm gonna go lower. I'm gonna give job seekers the benefit of the doubt.
You got $1?
Philip Austin says a lot. I have to admit it, a lot. So I didn't get any percentages in the online chat though, but that's okay. What is the answer?
That's 60.
60.
Whoa!
Hey! Hold up, Mark. This is for Mark.
Yeah, Mark gets a double mic drop. Nice. So remember that's not 60% of people are actually not being truthful. It's that the data is not accurate, right? And it doesn't really matter to an employer. Of course, untruthful is really bad, but even inaccurate is really bad. And I'll tell you one little secret that everybody in the audience should know is that if you do miss your record of employment date by more than 30 days on either side, some corporations will look at that and they will do the record of employment check either through Equifax or directly from Work Number or the previous employer. And they have a KPI where they're like, anyone outside that window of the 30 days is an immediate X.
Man.
So it's important that you guys should have the information on your resume should be accurate because it can cost you an opportunity.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, think about that. So, okay, first of all, I hate that. I think that's really ridiculous of employers to be so strict in that way.
Maybe you should just put the year.
Like, come on, man. Like
no, don't do that.
Some of this stuff, some of the hoops that they make people jump through is just absolutely ridiculous. But what I like about your tool is it's giving you your credit report, right? It's giving you access to see what's really going on so that when you're filling out these applications and stuff, you actually have the accurate information.
Yeah.
Right? You don't have to guess.
Right.
Right? I love that.
I should give away some full digital work passports on the show. I don't think that we had set up to do that, but I think we had just set up to give away the pack finders, but I should give away a few of those too, just so that people can check it out.
Yeah, absolutely.
That would be awesome.
Okay. So how are we going to do that? How are you going to do that, Mark? Let's ask another question to the audience. We got to get these people paying attention. We got to get them to perk up a little bit. You know what I'm saying? And we'll ask a question to the audience. By the way, Eric, we've got something unique going on, which is an audio room, a LinkedIn audio room too. And so we've got some people in the audio audience. We may be able to ask one of them a question.
Cool.
First of all, before we get to the question, though, I got one for you. Because I was reading some of your bio and stuff like that. Like, this isn't your first company that you've, like, come up with and stuff. Like, you have, like, 5 or something different businesses that you've created, right? Is that right?
Over the years, yeah.
Sure.
But ones that are actually operating right now, too.
Wow, you're like the real deal entrepreneur over here, man. I like that. What has been one of the biggest challenges for you with this one, right? Because you've created multiple businesses. What's been your biggest challenge for this one?
I got to say, when I first started in this, blockchain was really, really new, and some will tell you that the blockchain was all Bitcoin in 2012, but in terms of it actually being a commercially viable product or something that wasn't just associated with digital currency, in 2017 it was a brand new concept. It was just protocols and underlying fintech applications. So I kind of went to the source. I was all over the world traveling, like speaking with the leaders in the world of blockchain to try and get some non-purist, like blockchain's going to change the world and it's like crypto everything, screw the government, everyone owns their own sovereign stuff. And I'm like, okay, that's great, but there's a real application here for a commercial business, and I think we can potentially do something together. So my first kick at the can over the first 6 months, like I basically traveled all over the world, met with like Brock Pierce and the founders of EOS and Ethereum and all of these different experts, and they're extremely smart, and they built some incredible products. but they weren't really interested in the commercial validity of this or bringing it to my client base, which was enterprise. So I kind of came home and I just had a little baby girl. And my wife, oh my God bless her, she she was there with the baby, and I was out everywhere, and I came home and I said, I failed.
Oh, man.
I came home with a tail between my legs. I didn't have much of anything. So kind of start from scratch and do it all again. And that's what you got to do as an entrepreneur, right? If you really believe in something, that's what's going to carry you through the tough.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna give you a mic drop
Well,
for that, man.
And that's the characteristic of a wolf, right?
That's
That's
grit.
the wolf characteristic.
Great question. Hold up. What's up with the work wolf? I mean, I get the work. What's the wolf? Like, yeah, that's a good, I mean, you brought it up. The logo and the wolf. Is that the mindset it takes, the grit it takes to be a job seeker? You gotta be like a wolf?
I don't know. I didn't come up with the name. I mean, we had some very interesting partnerships early on, and some really big believers that have been, been supporters right from the start. And Soldier Unlimited, which is a really wicked marketing company, and Brent Farrell, and I got a really interesting story about him if we have some time.
Oh, absolutely. We got some time.
Yeah. So he was a big believer, and he ended up going to Soldier, which has a venture division, and I think their claim to fame, one of their many claim to fames, because they do marketing for like major corporations like Tag Heuer, and I think they launched Canada Goose, right? And Canada Goose is a I don't know how many $billion company, but they launched them out of a very very niche market of being like Arctic explorer scientists go to the North Pole and like stay there for 6 months in sub-zero temperatures. That's what they built that product line for. And the founder of that company said he knew the owner of, or the son of, and said, we should take this retail, man. It's a really cool product. And that was the beginning of it. So they started Canada Goose. So I don't know if they just have a thing for animals and Canada Goose, Workwolf, or what. But I also think it has to do with the fact that, in work, you can have an alpha or a beta. You can have, so there's lots of designations in terms of a wolf pack, find your pack finder. So I think that they kind of thought strategically about, hey, how can we make this a strong brand name that people can relate to, but also we can build upon it as the business grows.
Love it, love it, love it. So it has to do with all the different animals they got going on over there. They got the zoo over there. All right, what's a question for the audience so we can ask them, Mark, and give away a couple of your, what are they called? They're lock boxes? No.
Yeah, basically. So it's a digital work passport, and then
digital work passport. I love that. It just sounds cool. Yeah. I want one. Can I get one?
You sure can.
Yes, I want a digital work passport. Can you create it in a physical form, though? I want to show people, be like, this is my passport. Like, can I do that?
Maybe one day. Maybe you know what? I've had discussions with my team about our resume builder. It's been on the docket for like the last year. So that will be coming in terms of us being able to take the public profile that we have now, the digital work passport, which is kind of secure on the platform, but then us pushing those credentials to a formatted resume where we intake the individual's information, and then it ties back to the validated credentials so that we will have the resume of what people actually are familiar with. And then the only difference is that the employer will be able to validate it just by clicking on the claim. And so we're working on that.
That would be really cool. I think it would be just really, really interesting. Like, forget all this. Like, this process is so broken. Like, I think it'd be cool to go in there and just be like, boop, right?
Yeah.
Boop. You already, well, I'm checked. I'm good. I got my clearance. You can see everything you need to know about me. Or they're like, I scan it, and they're like, hey, and they escort me out of the building. Like, Trevor. One more question I have for you before we go to the audience. What do you think employers and recruiters on the hiring side, what do you think they should do differently in this process? Because it's broken. That's why you're doing this. I mean, the system's broken. So what do you think they could do differently to improve it?
it's a systemic issue, right? So it's the fact that there's KPIs and metrics that the recruiters need to hit. And right now, the recruiters, and I'm not siding with either side, but I think it's really important that the applicants understand that there's two facets of why a recruiter may not get back to a candidate when they don't get the job. Okay, and one is that there's liability associated with feedback, and depending on the state or country or province that they're in, sometimes it's recommended from leadership to just don't say anything, because it can come back and bite you if it's interpreted the wrong way, and that's not useful, right? That's not beneficial to the candidate, but that's how it is. Second piece is that a recruiter, an internal recruiter in a corporate environment, may be responsible for 20 or 25 job posts, sometimes 30. They're getting 200 applicants on average per job. So you're looking at 6,000 resumes, maybe 600 resumes, like a ridiculous amount, something that not one person can manage. Right. So with our tool and our filtration, so this is really a job seeker focused audience, but our tool leverages the Pathfinder results, and based on benchmarks that the employers create or utilize one of our standard benchmarks, they can filter based on how that individual is going to perform in that job, again, in one click. So they can kind of pull percentage match through that dashboard. So, and then our next phase is the alpha board, right? And so the alpha board will be, we'll have and we're getting about 2,500 new users per month right now. So we just commercialized 6 months ago. So it's still really, really new tech. But as that base grows, and as we get more employers on the system, with the employers creating benchmarks of their performers, then our system will kind of ping each other. And when a new person joins the network, they'll let them know, hey, you're a 95% plus match with this employer's top performing people. Do you want to meet them? Right. And so now what we have is a connection that's non-self-proclaimed, but it's based on innate character traits and belief systems, who you are and how you score against the people and who they are within the organization, and your validated credentials. And so it really brings truth to the forefront of the employment market and allows kind of a new standard or a new way to hire. So it's if I can get this thing out there and people can learn about it, I think there's a real shot at this being really improving the market.
That's what it is. We got to educate people on this stuff. And you know what? Data, I mean, come on, y'all. Some of these companies know more about us than we know about ourselves. Let's put it that way. You know what I mean? And they can use that. They can use that information, like he's saying, in so many different ways.
Man,
and this is powerful stuff.
I just, as you were talking about that, Eric, man, I just was thinking about this, because a big part of why you interview, right, is your resume tells whether you can do the job or not, and especially if you have validation now with Pathfinder and the tools we're talking about, even better, right? But a big part of the interview is if they like you, if your values align, things like that. But I just had the thought, and maybe this is a venture for you, Eric, is can you take social media, can you take some of the other big data that's out there and score a value system? Think about that. If you could have a value system score and whether or not it aligns with the company's value systems.
I love what you're thinking, man. It's called, so back in the old school, they call it the OGs. Like I was with a room full of nerds and they're calling themselves OGs in blockchain, right? And I'm like,
we the OGs in the blockchain.
You're like, that's Dre and Snoop Dogg. Yeah. Like, you guys are not OGs, man. Anyway, so it's something called reputation consensus, and that is something that is definitely a very big problem to solve. There's also ethical issues you need to dig in. You could have hour discussions around that. So it's something that I'm very interested in. I think it's a great idea. I just don't know how to solve that one yet. So right now we're just kind of working with the things that I'm confident that we can solve, and then looking at those bigger issues later on. And I know that there's people working on it. So
definitely. I just did a interview with Fox News Radio yesterday about a lady that was fired from posting a TikTok video about her salary, and she was fired from her company and stuff like that. And so you're right. They are looking at these things, but can we do some kind of technology that can automate and say, okay, I've looked at all your social media platforms. This person should not work here.
And there's a score.
There's a score. Like I don't think they're gonna connect well. But at the same time, like as we say all of this,
it's a little scary.
It is scary because I'm a big advocate for humanizing the job search. Yeah. But at the same time, these are elements in our life now. I mean, you can't get away from technology. You can't. It's never going to go back the way it was. Mm-hmm. We have to try to solve it. And so I do like this, Erik. I think, and that's why I thought, you know what, I would love to have you share it, because I think it is about awareness. Mm-hmm. People need to learn about what this is and how to get the message out there. So, all right, we want to give away a couple of these passports. And Mark, did you think of a question we can ask the audience?
Yeah, so he said where he was from. And so rather than the city, let's talk about the territory that he's from. What territory is Erik in?
Or just what country? You could put that too. Because we could sit here all day. Let's get the first. How many did you want to give away for your for the passport?
Why don't we do 3? So it's so everybody gets the passport and the Pathfinder psychometric evaluation. They all get that for free. Okay, so that's something everyone's going to get. What I'm going to give them is, let's say, $100 worth of credential credits in their passport, so that they can validate what it is they want to validate. So if they want to, like, say, hey, what's my driver's abstract, or I'm not sure what you guys, motor vehicle record, is that what you call it in the US? Mm-hmm. Yeah. What's that? What's my criminal record say? Like, what's my credit score? This isn't just kind of like the Borrowwell or the Credit Karma credit score, where it gives you a number that's an indication of where you are. This will give you the full report. Like, what do you owe on this? How much is outstanding? Have there ever been any liens? Like, full history, right? So I'll give $100 away to, let's say, 3 people, even maybe 5 people. If you spread the word, right? And you just say, hey, man, this is something that's pretty cool.
I love that. So our first answer comes back from Philip Austin. He says, Canada, eh?
Oh, good one.
Yeah, no, that's correct. That's correct.
That is correct.
So congratulations to Philip Austin. He was our first answer that come through, and so we'll give away for the next 3 people that put Canada in the chat, because he already spoiler alert.
Or Ontario. That's where I was getting.
The province.
Yes, the province. I called the territory. I'm sorry, province.
He was going in. Yeah. And I also put, Erik, I put the link in the chat for the Pathfinder, okay? Yep. And that's for the entire audience, correct?
You bet it is.
The Pathfinder, okay, perfect.
Yeah.
So congrats, Phillips, Austin, and we'll get the other winners very, very soon. Why don't we do this? If everybody in the audience, if you could do me a favor, and while we're waiting on the other answers, if you could take a screenshot, and I want you to post this thing all over social media. All right, we need awareness, right? We need to get the word out. And if anybody has something they would like to share or comment or anything like that, you want to come on the stage, you can raise your hand right now. But otherwise, I'm going to let this man go, because he has. Listen, brother, I see you. I know you're over there struggling. I know you're not feeling well, and I just appreciate you coming and being part of this. And so I also see John Bollard. He says Canada, so we're going to give it to him. Mm-hmm. John, appreciate you. You're going to get you a passport. You know what I'm talking about? And I don't see any questions coming in at the moment, Erik, so I really, really do appreciate you coming, and I want to give you some extra time and just tell you thank you. I appreciate you.
I appreciate you guys too. Thanks. Great show. It's a lot of fun, and I really like what you're doing. So keep doing it, guys. And if I can help you out in any way, just let me know.
Absolutely.
Thanks so much,
Thanks, Erik. Big round of applause for Erik. Let's go. Guys, that is the show. It's all about who you know. Bye. Trevor Houston here, and I want to thank you for tuning in to the Who You Know Job Networking Show. We hope you've been inspired, encouraged, educated, and entertained all at the same time. For information on our different events, workshops, partners, or partnership opportunities available, check out whoyouknow.show for more details. And be on the lookout for our new mobile app. You never know how this show can help someone you know? And if we've made an impact or put a smile on your face today, don't forget to hit that share button on your way out. Until next week, it's all about who you know. Bye.
Oh. Faith without works is dead. I don't wanna die so soon. I got moves to make instead. I ain't scared.